Welcome to the Issues of Men, where we boldly approach topics that men are experiencing, but not always willing to admit or address openly. Check it. I don't play hockey, but I check my men. I demonstrate and elevate on the I.O.M. Yeah. Good evening, family. Welcome to another edition of Issues of Men, where we boldly approach topics that men are experiencing, but not always willing to admit or address openly. So with that said, being this evening, family, I'm your host, Christopher Allen. Miss B will not be with me this evening, so I'm riding solo. I do want to send positive energy, frequency, and prayers our way to her and her family. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started and move on. Now, with that being said, family, tonight's topic of conversation that I'm going to have this evening is in a 2-segment piece. Or may say it's commingled, actually. It's commingled. And first order of business is the cost of wanting what you desire worth. Is it worth it? What was the cost of it? What was the reward? What was the consequence? What did you win? What did you lose? And a second portion that we're also tying in, and which was really the beginning of it, is called the baggage, while we grab it and accept it. And this is just in regards to, in general, just in relationships that we have with, but it doesn't necessarily be for intimate relationships, but some of the references and examples that I'm going to give this evening are going to reflect some of those aspects of it, all right? So with that being said, usually, when I put out my videos, I do a promo. And in my promo, or some of the introduction information that lies in the message I'm trying to portray, kind of gives you a prelude, is, most of us don't realize that life is basically a game of chess. The pieces on the board are our decisions that are influenced by our emotions, experiences, and belief systems about our lives. The moves we make determine what pieces are removed from the board from us, just to obtain a specific outcome. That may include friends, relatives, enemies, goals, relationships, etc. Right? And the second piece to that is some of the moves that we make may result in a stalemate or may result in a checkmate. We often never think about who we are truly playing. Who are we playing, family? We playing ourselves? Are we playing somebody else? Who are we truly playing? What are we playing for? And are we checkmating ourselves negatively, or are we reaching our objectives positively? So we're going to talk about that this evening. One thing that I did realize over a period of time, always they say, oh, I want somebody who's emotionally stable. I want somebody who is, quote unquote, just the greatest thing since sliced bread. I want this, I want that, right? Well, there is never a relationship, family, or a union, a friendship, family, whoever, business. There's never a relationship in this lifetime without baggage, period. Some people may argue and say they beg to differ, but I know from my experiences And if yours is anything like mine, and not saying that it should be, I'm just saying in general, there's baggage, period. It's just that the fact that as we get older and become more mature individually and together, as we move forward in these relationships, that we're able to either tolerate, we're able to ignore, we're able to give wise counsel or receive wise counsel in regards to the baggage that we have individually and in these relationships. We're able to manage our emotions and baggage better, so that we aren't hurling it or throwing it at our partners, business associates, or whoever. And as you get older, we're not expecting our partners in life, regardless of what that relationship is, to lift, carry, or quote unquote, carry our stuff. And they're not responsible for making us happy, right? So just to minimally address why we accept and pick up others' baggage, is that a lot of times, knowingly, unknowingly, we are bartering, we're trading, we're willing to sacrifice a part or all of ourselves to get what we want out of the relationship, or get what we desire, or get what we have out of the other person, right? Some people might not look at it that way, but that's what the situation is. And in this acceptance or taking on this baggage, right, we tend to think that no matter what we've shown from the other person, that we can change the other person, right? We think we can get them to hop on our side of the fence. We get them to see, get them to move a different way, get them to operate in a whole different function than what they're capable or what they're showing at this point in time in this relationship that we have. And the truth about that is that we can influence one another, each other, but we're delusional to think that we can actually change the other person, because we can't change anybody, right? They have to do the work for that. They have to realize, they have to do the work, and for them to move forward. And a lot of times when we are in relationships with people, personal and business, right, we tend to minimize the amount of baggage this person is carrying. We minimize the amount of baggage that we are dumping on one another or the other. We tend to minimize that. And a lot of times we're putting a lot of things on somebody else that we need to be sorting through our garbage, our baggage, our ish, and taking that weight off the other person, discarding that. Your relationships would be much better in regards to that if that didn't occur. If you just piled more stuff on. And if you notice in the promo video, some of the images that I added, if you haven't seen that, go back and check that out and look at those images. Even if you have to slow it down or pause it, has some ish in there, y'all. All right. A lot of times while we pick up others' baggage and accept everything that they're carrying and want us to carry for them, is that we're fearful of being alone. We are fearful of losing that other person. Most times. I'm just saying in general, might not be us all, but in most circumstances, right? We deal with other people's baggage and carry them, and vice versa, because of our own insecurities, our own stuff. You know, that's what it is. A lot of times we're trying to prove our value, prove that we're worthy, prove our loyalty, prove our love to a person, a group of people, or show our validity um, in these relationships that we have, right? And sometimes again, this also will go back to when we think that we can change a person, is that a lot of times it's like we'll sit and we'll try to support them emotionally and do all we can to bring them up. We try to do all we can to get them to discard that baggage that they have and the stuff that they're putting on us, and vice versa. And so, we support them till we can't, until we can no longer support them, right? And so what I'm about to do is provide an example for you. And once the example is over, and while you watch the video, I want you to put in the chat your opinion, your idealism of why, of what this person is sacrificing, what this person is losing in reference to them sacrificing a part of themselves because of their desire. They wanted something so badly that they were willing to take whoever was paying attention to them at that time, who was able to provide what they wanted that they wanted so badly, that they took a bad situation. And so I just want you to provide that feedback. And so this is the example that I want to share with you all tonight, the first example, right? We have a female that is 35 years of age. She has 3 children. She's been in and out of a lot of relationships, and she wants to get married. She's never been married before, family. This is her goal. This is her desire. She is a religious lady. She's a Christian lady. And, she quote unquote just believes that, she doesn't want to sin anymore. She wants the white picket fence, and, she wants the husband, and, she just wants that dream, right? So, no man has married her up to this date. All right. She meets Mel P. Mel P loves female A. Okay. He loves her. But he's very insecure and controlling. His experiences haven't been good with women. He's a diehard romantic. And, he just wants to prove to somebody that he's worthy, he's lovable, and that he can be a husband. So, in his insecure and controlling manner over her, her male friends, a lot of her friends and her associates, she's known for years, ones that have been around a lot of times since she was a child. Because of his insecurity, she can't communicate with them based on his baggage, based on his ish. And in order for her to get married, what is she sacrificing to be married? Is this a good situation? Is it a bad situation? What is she accepting to obtain her dreams, her goals, and her number one desire of being married? What's the cost of all this, of obtaining what she desires most And is it worth it? Family, just in this particular situation, right? Just from my opinion, she would eventually lose herself in this relationship. She would no longer be happy over a period of time. It might feel like a joyous and happy occasion right now. But at this point, she's standing to lose herself. She stands to lose her character. She stands to lose her personality. She stands to lose her confidence. She stands to lose her voice. And she stands to lose her choice, family. She's going to more than likely become what he wants her to become, given to his demands to keep the peace, to be what he wants her to be. So who she was, who she claims to be, who she may even want to be, that's going out the window in regards to this relationship. A lot of us think that, oh, this is cute. He really loves me, but that's not love. This is not love. It may be a form of love or something of that nature, but it's not true love. This is a lot of things that are happening in this relationship is fear-based. At some point, she's going to be in control for so long, being manipulated for so long, being isolated for so long, is that she's going to miscommunicating with those that she's grew up with, those that she had a close relationship and tight bond with, by not being able to communicate, but that was her choice. She sacrificed most of her close and trusted relationships for marriage. I would say it's more like bondage, right? And the question is, based on this scenario, will she be able to have I time, me time? Will she be able to have company? Will she be able to go outside without permission? Will she be able to go to her friends' houses, or will she be allowed to do anything? But, you got 2 minutes on the phone. What you gonna say in 2 minutes? Or not being a call at all? And it gets worse because people like this tend to monitor your calls, see who you're calling, why are you calling them? And I asked or told you not to do this. So what's the repercussion of that? Will she eventually lose her bond, her relationship with her children? Will they despise or hate her because of this individual, how she's feeling and the situation that's going on within the household or outside of the household? And family, like a controlling or manipulative situation like this, although you may be sacrificing to get what you want, it never usually gets any better. It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. It doesn't get better, family. I'm just being honest and telling you the truth. It doesn't get, it gets worse. So things could end up in a physical, verbal abuse, and many other types of abuses and things that might be going on that may seem, some people think it's normal, to go back and forth and have those type of conversations, not even a conversation, but arguments and going back and forth and disagreements all the time and pushing each other in each other's faces and make up the breakup and all that stuff. Listen, I've been through it, been there, done that. I thought it was a part of life until I understood, like, I don't want that no more. I don't want none of this no more. And I personally, and I share this experience, I probably have shared this experience with y'all like one or two times in the past, is that um, I personally have, because I wanted to be married so badly, be in a committed relationship with somebody so badly, um, that I personally, um, got into some relationships. I mean, I know the person wanted to be with me. I wanted to be with that person. And, I thought I could fix that person. I thought I could, to help them carry that baggage and be able to, help them discard it, you know, um, help them to heal, help them to grow. But family, when you got, although I was in a better place as far as managing my baggage, that individual had some things going on that she could not manage. And because she could not manage it, I could not manage it. Um, and, matter of fact, both situations got ugly in regards to that. Because of because of my baggage, right? My biological father was not, a part of my life. And I just always said that, moving forward, whoever I'm with, the person that had a child by, or however that situation went, that as a father, I'm always going to be there. I'm always going to be there. Um, Anybody else that might be in that situation may have a single mother or whatever like that. I'm going to raise her son. I'm going to raise her daughters like they was mine. A lot of times these things can work, but because of my baggage in regards to the whole situation about my biological not being around, I, um, I created relationships that should have never been a part of my life, but they manifested to teach me a lesson that, um, you really have to be careful of your baggage, um, how you put that information out there, how you heal, how you grow, or if you want to hold on to it, um, how it manipulates and controls you over a period of time and continuously put you in bad situations, making bad decisions and bad choices for your life. And ultimately, it also affects others. So definitely look into that. And um, what I want to say just in regards to the situation is that um, family marriage is a lifelong commitment. It is very easy to get into. It's very easy to get people to commit and invest in your marriage, and but it's very hard to get out. It's very hard to get out. Once an annulment period passes by, based on the laws in your state, again, it's very difficult to get out. Based on if you have children together, um, there's going to be a custody battle. Whatever assets that you brought into the relationship, whatever asset that you have together outside of creating a prenup, any bills that you had prior to the relationship and ones that you have together in the relationship, your reasons for separating, leading up to the divorce, again, it's going to cost you big, family. It's going to cost you big. I'm talking about big time, family. It's going to cost you big time. And then too, you're going to get and gain emotional scars, and there's more baggage going to be produced in regards to having a divorce or creating a union based on what? Because you don't want to lose the person. The person has money. The person has toys. They got stature. I got a nice job, got a nice position. What? Um, I just want to, also express to this evening, family, is that marriage is a choice. Marriage is an idea, of the greatest union between man and woman. And, truly, it can be a very good thing if it's done for the right reasons. You look at these cartoons, you look at these movies, you look at all these different things, and they present it in such this great way. You're taught that it's this beautiful and great thing. It can be a great thing, but by any stretch of the imagination, family, it is not a fairy tale. All right, it's not a fairy tale. Period. It's not a fairy tale. Everything is not going to be sunshine every day. It's not going to be, say, hunky dory and all that. No, it's not going to be. It can be easy, and it can be a full-time job. It can be a full-time chore, depending on how you handle it, depending on how she handles it, and how y'all manage it together. Because before you come into this relationship together, and while we accept and while we carry other people's baggage, and vice versa, right? People think that marriage will magically make your relationship better. They think it will magically uh, make you and your partner happy. They think it'll magically, your partner will do the right things. That it'll just magically make this person love and respect you. Just make this union magically, like, this person's going to stop beating you. This person is going to stop verbally abusing you. This person is going to stop cheating on you. This person is going to stop drinking. This person is going to stop doing drugs. This person is going to stop gambling. Family, it doesn't. Things get accelerated. Things get worse. Just because somebody proclaims they love you, or proclaims their love for you, doesn't mean that they love you, right? So my recommendation, just using the example that I had above, is, sometimes you just have to take a back seat to things. Stop overlooking things. Or because a person promised you, we're going to get married, I got the ring for you, boom, bada, 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 bing. I got you, mama. A lot of people who provide gifts, give you money, all this stuff is just a pacifier, or they do enough to make you kind of bypass the flaws and the disrespect and the way that they treat you. And excuse me, they do just enough to keep you hanging on, to keep you interested, to keep you, keep making excuses for them. They're a good person and they mean well. That's exactly why they keep doing what they're doing. So you should, prior to getting in these type of situations, prior to accepting baggage or carrying it for somebody else, it's very important that, transparency, addressing your baggage prior to any union, in my opinion, in my OPINION opinion, is a must, right? It's a must. I'm not perfect. I have my stuff. My significant other has her stuff. But it's at a place where it's manageable. We understand. And we're not trying to make it worse or get worse, right? But you need to understand too that you can only make you happy, family. Only you can make me happy. Dun, dun, dun. Need to change the words in that song. Beautiful song. I like it. Like it. Nice groove. But only you can make you happy. You can only manage yourself, right? You can influence, you can give advice to somebody else. But how are you managing yourself, right? But it is a must. Whether you're already in a relationship, you're going through some things, you got baggage, she got baggage. Find that acceptance with yourself. Find that peace within yourself. Just know that you're not perfect, but you are consciously working to get better and doing better, practicing to be better. Because that's what life is. Life is really, we're practicing, period. Practicing to make our relationships better, practicing to make ourselves better. As I said before, you can help guide, you can help influence your partner and get them to understand you a little bit better, to treating you better, to look at themselves, to look at you and to look at life through a better lens. Because if they look in that lenses and that shit is crooked or they blind and they can't really see what's going on in front of your face and vice versa, right? Whew. It's hard to see the road ahead of them. It's hard to see what's beside them, to the left, to the right. You know what I'm saying? So getting them, you can influence them or show them some things where they can operate and see things from a better place, a better lens. That's pretty much what I'm saying to you today, right? So let's get into, there's a couple I know that live out in California. Great couple, great people, right? And they spend a lot of money on education. One's a doctor, and one is oh my God, what I want to say was, I forget, but she's in the medical field, right? I hope they don't ever see this, but they make a lot of money, but because of who they are, how they were raised and what they thought life should be, they kept up with the Joneses. And so with all this education that they have, they're still practically living like somebody who didn't have any education because they're keeping up with the Joneses. And, if you had to go out to visit them or see pictures of their home, and you be like, wow, they live fat, they live in Gucci, they live in good. You know what I'm saying? They good. But the truth of the matter is they're struggling. And until they started to realize together that the path that they started on, as far as finances, the path of education, the jobs that they have, and what's required for them to maintain and obtain these jobs, was the cost of education really worth it? Or, just to have a livable wage or unlivable wage, right? And a lot of us who are into education, you have a passion over something. Your passion is the school that you even went to school for, right? You thought you was going to make an X amount of money. You don't have to take a job where you make this amount of money. So it's just very important to weigh our options. And when we carry baggage and the types of so what I want to ask you right now, as far as what I'm saying in regards to this education, these jobs and the financial piece of it, they would tell me yes. I mean, they would tell me yes, it was worth it for them to do this, and they had the experience. But now they have to put the time and effort to get out of that situation. downsize your home, get into something that's affordable for you. Um, Stop living like the Joneses. Stop chasing the Joneses. Um, and, you know, live in a means that's comfortable for you to be able to save and you be able to get your retirement and all these different things done, right? So, it's just very important sometimes, but the cost of their education, especially with, him going to school to become an attorney, um, they say, oh, you supposed to can afford it. But they chose to live in California. And California is, I was like, New York City is a very hard place to live and survive, right? If anything happens to happen to either one of their salaries or somebody got sick or something like that, probably things they never even considered. When it happened, it was young. It took them a long to grow and build out of that circumstance. A lot of people would probably say, no, the education piece worked out, but the amount of money that we owed, the debt that we incurred, the debt that we produced based on the education, the jobs that we have, and where we chose to live to keep up with the Joneses was it made things difficult for them when it could and should have been a little bit easier for them to. So the fights picked up and persisted. But based on the education scenario, how do you feel about that? Like, what are your thoughts? What types of baggage did they bring into the relationship? What type of baggage did they place on each other? Where did they go wrong? So just provide that in the chat for me. I just want to see what your thoughts are, or anything that I might not have thought of or discussed, just in regards to the education and the amount of debt, the Joneses, and also put in there what you thought they went through, and how they, could work themselves out of that situation, just based on their perception of life and how things are supposed to. Excuse me, thirsty, y'all. I need some water, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and get this video done today for y'all. Let me share this with y'all. You may have a family member or a friend who have gone through this type of situation, right? I knew a young, talented minor league baseball player, lived on the East Coast. He had a fiance with 2 children. They were financially struggling to make ends meet. I mean, he was playing minor league baseball. Again, he was, trying to perpetrate, he's living great, he's living well. But she was supporting his dreams, right? To become a major player, to be in the being in Major League Baseball. But right now, after 2 years, 3 years, she became tired of supporting his dream to become a major player. He was on and off, on and off the field. And she was tired of taking the bulk of the household obligations by herself. An agent for a major league baseball team on the West Coast expressed interest in the young man. He was also receiving, a lot of pressure, based on his finances, his family obligations, public expectation, his family, his friends back at home. So when an agent reaches out to him and says that, the team on the West Coast was interested in signing him, he took the young man to dinner. Was to get a workout, right? So they flew him out to work out with the team and, be interviewed and talk to people and, had a media day and all this stuff like that. So of course, he was very excited, but he was also invited a type of workout to an additional workout. And when I say workout, it's not where you're on the field and you playing baseball, you're throwing the ball around, you catch the ball, you're running and throwing and swinging the bat, hitting and sliding and all that stuff like that. I'm just going to say that he was invited to go to an additional workout, and he was just under the pressure of being able to support his fiance. He, go ahead and complete that marriage thing that they had going on. Family obligations, again, the expectations of friends, family, like, yo, he gonna make it. But he was also tested, and coerced into this additional workout, right? So in order for him to meet these obligations and he dreamed of doing, being able to be that figure and be the man of the household and things like that. If he agreed to this workout, what did he compromise to obtain his dream? What secrets or what lies is he going to have to withhold from his wife, his fiance? What are some of the things he's going to have to hold inside? What are some of the things that he can never come out and speak and talk about, being as though he was offered this additional workout? So I wanted to share those scenarios with you, just to show that, sometimes what you really want, your dream, your goals, that, they can be accomplished in different ways. How are you going to handle and accomplish your dreams and goals? You want to handle them with, and for most people, there isn't a right way or a wrong way. It's just making a way. Get to the end result, get to the end goal. Can you sleep at night? Can you live with what you've done is the question. And even with living with those things, how is that going to affect the outcome of your family, your relationships? How is it going to affect your mind, your heart, your spirit, your emotions? There's a lot of things that come out of achieving, but it's just about how you handle it. It's all about how you handle things. So with that being said, family, that's what I wanted to share with you this evening, how just having the ability to work on your baggage, do it in a constructive way. Not saying that there's a good or a bad way to do it, but how would you be able to handle how you obtain your finances, how you obtain job positions, how you obtain whatever it is that you do? Is it with character, is it with dignity? Or will you take the other route? Take the front door, you take the back door. I would share a story with you, but I'm running a few minutes on time right now, so not gonna be able to share the story with you. But again, I also just wanted to offer a few ways that that may be able to assist or help when people have sacrificed a part of themselves or all of themselves to obtain a dream of goal, and you're in a relationship with somebody. You're having some issues and some problems. Excuse me. All right. You have any issues and problems? There are ways to heal. There's address these situations. So um, I just always say, even prior to making decisions on specific things, whether that would be in regards to your finances, getting loans, taking jobs, and knowing that there may be a situation or something that they may compromise your relationship or have a look at you funny, or he look at you funny, or um, he or she may feel like you have secrets or you're holding things behind, things of that nature, right? I just always had this thing about communication, having that open, honest, and transparency conversation. Because sometimes it may not be as bad as you thought it was going to be in your head. Like, if I tell her this, I wanted this $100,000 position, and my boss is a female, and she was like, in order for you to get this position, you got to handle your business. Would I take the 100,000, or will I stay in my 25, 30, $40,000 job, right? I got dreams, goals, and aspirations. But anyway, sometimes, they may be like, look, do what you need to do, get that paper. And as long as it don't happen again, happen no more, that I'm good with it, So a lot of different things that come out of that. So, just having that transparent conversation, sometimes it will stop you. They were like, look, I got you. I want to support you and be there. I know I've been griping and carrying on, wanting you to, hurry up and achieve what you got to achieve. I got some things I want to do too. But in this scenario, no, we need to take another route. So again, communication, honesty and transparency with one another. And one thing that I always felt was very important is have boundaries in your relationship. Whether that would be arguing, having disagreements, how are you supposed to do that, how you handle that. How you handle finances, how you handle how we talk to each other. So it's a lot with that, with boundaries, not crossing this line on what to do. We have an open relationship. We don't have an open relationship. You can't cheat. So it's things of that nature that we definitely need to pay attention to. So one of the things that I did notice too, when we talk about baggage and why we accept and why we hold other people's baggage and vice versa, or even know that they even have some stuff with them, is the patterns in a relationship. Knowing when they feel hurt based on a situation, right? Knowing how to, let's say, for example, really quick, every time you go out of town and every time that person's getting ready to go out of town and they go taking a trip, or they have to do something or take a work trip or whatever that is, they'll be out of town for a day or two or a couple of days, whatever like that. Does your partner have anxiety issues in regards to that? Are they drinking more? Are they getting in arguments with you? Or before you leave, they disappear? They don't spend any time with you. Look at patterns and situations in relationships that would kind of, that you have to address to get them to be like, look, go out of town for 2 weeks. I'm here. I got you. Or do something to help to comfort them or get them to understand that, whoever you think that I am, or who's in your head, or who's telling how you're feeling inside. I want you to be more comfortable with this or that, because, I'm not doing anything. I care about you. I want you. I love you. So, just pay attention to these patterns and address what happens in those patterns when that person is hurt or reacting negatively. In these situations, dealing with baggage, business, personal relationships, address it, but don't blame. Don't blame, oh, you did this, blah, 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 blah. and pointing the finger. Okay. Now we that's, we're not going to do that. Okay. Um, Usually in a relationship, there's always one person who's more negative than the other person. Um, so I would just say stay positive. You know what I'm saying? Stay positive as much as you can to address that other person. Because not saying, I would say 60-40. Sometimes when you show them a good example, a great example, or keep reiterating of being a good example, that person would usually follow. Um, again, just that communication, being able to listen to what someone's saying and trying to understand. Just because a person didn't grow up like you, um, don't respond like you, don't handle everything like you, um, communicate with them, find out their situation, why they respond the way they respond, and things of that nature. Because it will help you to get to understand them a little bit better and understand why they're doing what they're doing and things of that nature. Um, why they're responding like that, why they acting like that. And that will help you to be able to navigate better in and around them and for your relationship. I guess what I said was almost like understanding is trying to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. I've done that a lot in my life. Even when I was in those shoes for a minute, I still don't understand. I still don't understand, family. I didn't. But a lot of times I did understand. So it did help. And last but not least, family, is if you talk about couples therapy, there's nothing wrong with therapy. Seriously, nothing wrong with therapy. I know in my culture, or at least what I've experienced and seen, not saying everybody, but I know a good 90%. And I think 10% is a lot. But in my experience, I'm just glad that my parents were not, that they were in that 10%. Because when they got to a situation or a place, things were not going the way they thought or how they was moving or how they was raising, they had couples therapy. We had family therapy situations, you know what I'm saying? So, we were able to learn a lot about each other. They were able to learn a lot about each other, and they were, as individuals, we was able to learn a lot about each other. Which made things go in a better and a positive direction overall. But a lot of our families do not. They so and so is crazy, or just handle it. Whatever you're going through. We didn't have really too much back in the day. We didn't have that where people listened or didn't care. Not saying they didn't care, but they would like, man up. Put on your boots, put on your strap. Yo, tighten that belt up. Put on that hard hat. Work it through. Figure it out. Not saying that that's hard, that's bad. But at the same time, even when you're doing that, you also need help too. So with that being said, family, I'm going to close out with that for this evening's topic. Please share your ideas for today's show. Any topics that you have, shoot it. Give it to me. But if you would like to provide a topic for the show or be a guest on the show, contact me at theissuesofmen@gmail.com. Just put the subject in the subject section, and also write a little blurb, a little introduction to what, the situation is about. Leave your contact information, and I'll definitely be in touch with you. And if you would like to donate to the continued growth of this platform, and I'm not going to sit up here and tell you, money not made on trees at this point in time, difficult situation. But if you could help, I definitely do need a new laptop. I need a new laptop to work from. That's specifically for the social media platforms. things that I have that's going on. So I'm just looking for your support to donate at Cash App $ Ascension Services. That's capital ASCN SION capital SERVICES Ascension Services. You can also support support Storm Talk Radio. That's at $ Storm Talk 365. And again, we do appreciate anything that you have, any donations. Are greatly appreciated. Those things will help to obtain better equipment at this point in time. I am saving right now, trying to put a little bit away every paycheck. So at this juncture, I do approximately need $300 for an immediate go get type situation. And just being transparent on that. You can go to my I.O.M the Issues of Men YouTube channel, subscribe, like, and comment on the videos there as well. If you haven't seen all of them, they have been uploaded. All the promos have been uploaded there, and all the videos have been uploaded there as well. Oh my God, I'm just thinking, Latisha, we were supposed to talk yesterday, on Monday. We got to make some time this week so we can have that conversation that we said we was going to talk about, to go ahead and get that out of the way. So I do apologize about that. Also, I'm on Storm Talk Radio 365 platform, on www.stormtalk365radio.com. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, on that platform, and also on YouTube, as I stated. Join the channel on Facebook Live, Storm Talk Radio 365, and also join the Issues of Men for all our podcast and platform information. So with that being said, family, I love you. Are you living constructively or are you living destructively? Only you can answer that question. But with that being said, family, I love you, and I will see you at the beginning of next month, the first week of October, Wednesday, and then the third week of October as well. So next week, I am going to have a guest or two on the show coming. It may just be one, and I'll probably start doing some more guest work, bringing guests on the show probably in November. So if you would like to be a guest, you set something up, you having a show or whatever that may be, hit me up, and I'll be able to have the interview to get you on the show and have you on the Issues of Men platform. All right. So with that being said, brothers and sisters, I love you, and I'm out. Till next time. Peace.